This is how to make a mud oven bush style.
G'day, I'm Outback Tom. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make a mud oven from scratch. A perfect backyard bush project to get the hands to work and refine your skills. Something you can do solo like myself or with your family and friends. To start off, we're going to mark out a rough area where the mud oven will live. You're more than welcome to get the measuring tape out, but for me, I'll just be using my boots. We then want to dig this patch of dirt out. I'm digging roughly 15 centimeters deep. It's just to create a bit of extra insulation for the mud oven and to allow us to fit our mould into the hole we've created. It's also 40 degrees Celsius where I am in Outback, Australia, so be sure to drink plenty of water and take breaks when needed. Once we've successfully dug out a small area and smoothed it out, it's time to collect some large rocks. I've found the perfect spot just by the salt flats, which is what we call the marsh. I'm after relatively large rocks. They'll be the base of the mud oven, providing extra heat and support for the structure of the oven. We'll load those into the ute and take them back to our location. It can be a bit of a process sorting out the rocks. We want the larger ones at the bottom for as much strength as possible at the base. This here is our mould. I'm using a large plastic garden pot, which is perfect for what we're trying to achieve. You may prefer to use something else that represents the same shape and size of your desired mud oven. Place the garden pot into the hole and start to place the larger rocks at the bottom. These will essentially be our frame. The garden pot is just used as a general mould for the oven. Once we're happy with the placement, it's time to get some garden fencing or wire mesh. We'll be placing this over the top of our mould. It's an important part of this project as it allows us to remove the mould later on and acts as a form of reinforcement. Cut off the excess, which we'll also use, and fit the wire to the mould. It can be a bit of a finicky process, but you can also use rocks to hold it in place. To ensure it's a nice clean finished product, I'm just trimming off any unnecessary fencing. The excess cutoff is what we'll use as the back of the oven. Best to fit it to the interior and use another rock to hold it in place. I'm then using some of the excess as wire hooks to hold both pieces of the fence firmly in place. Now it's time to get the mud. I'm heading back out to the marsh. The mud I'm collecting is between the wet and dry dirt. It's still got some structural integrity, but it gives us wiggle room when we add water to the mix. Once we've got our wheelbarrow full, we can head back. I'm adding a bit of water to the mixture. Don't overdo it at first, as you can always add more water down the line if needed. Time to give that a good mix. I'm wanting a consistency that allows me to shape the mud to the mould, but not too flexible, as I don't want it slipping through the garden fence. It's then time to start placing the mud over the mould, starting at the bottom and making our way around the edges. We can then start to cover the mould entirely. Once we have enough mud, it's time to get the hands to work. We need to shape, compact and work the mud around the mould, filling in gaps to make sure it's nice and strong and to allow the oven to retain heat. To get the smooth finish, I'm just dipping my hands into a bucket of water and smoothing out the mud, making sure it's evenly spread across the mould. Once you finish applying the mud, feel free to remove any excess wire. I'm giving it some final touches before leaving it to dry for the night. 24 hours later, and in the heat of Outback Australia, our mud oven has dried. You've got to be careful removing the mould. Although the mud can hold itself up with the support of the garden fence, you don't want to pull the mould out too quickly. Just pull gently and evenly. You can also remove some dirt from underneath to help this process. After a couple of gentle pulls, we've successfully removed the mould. Looking on the inside, we can see some gaps and patches that will need filling in, but the oven is structurally sound and able to support itself. I've still got some leftover dried mud in the wheelbarrow, which I'll add some water to, so that I can fill in those patches on the interior of the oven. To be extra safe, I'm also adding some gravel to the mix, just for that extra bit of strength to go on the interior wall of the oven. Once you've mixed it all in, it's time to start patching up those gaps. I'm adding in the rest of the mud mixture so that there's no waste and all those gaps created can be filled in. Once you're satisfied with the interior, it's time to fill in the floor with some more gravel. This gives a smooth surface for your fire and food to sit on and also helps with retaining heat. Last thing is to remove any excess wire. Now it's time to put our oven to good use. No better way to do that than with a beautiful and basic damper recipe. I'm lining a tray with flour and then into a mixing bowl adding self-raising flour and water before giving it a good mix and turning that into a dough. Now it's time to get the fire going. Ah, how good is that? We're gonna let the fire burn down to some nice coals. The heat is also baking the mud in place, giving it more strength. Time to add our damper in. 20 minutes later and the mud oven has worked perfectly. Nothing like a good piece of damper to accompany a nice curry out bush. We now have a fully functioning mud oven. Thank you so much for watching. You've been with me, Outback Tom. If you'd like us to build something else, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget you can always support us by liking and subscribing. Thanks you mob, we'll see you soon.